Today I am going to be showing you how to crazy any of your miniatures for Palladium RIFTS Crazy character. The Crazy has got these mind over matter brain implants. If you're ever looking for source material, I highly recommend, if you're going to do 3D modeling, that you buy some PDFs from Palladium. My goal here is to develop a bunch of props that they can then market through Hero Forge or potentially through their own 3D STL store, and basically provide some extra income with miniatures for the fans and basically stuff they can sell without having to invest in producing a lot of actual physical miniatures that may or may not sell. Alright, let's get started. So the first thing you'll need to do is download and install Blender. It's a free 3D modeling and animation app, and it's kind of a bit of a steep learning curve, but it's free and there's an amazing community resource. So let's get started. Alright, we've got a scene set up here. We're going to delete the base objects it always starts out with, which is a camera and a cube. And we're going to import this little guy here. One second while I change the picture. Alright. I got this guy from a website. It's a free Pathfinder, royalty-free use. So that's why I'm using it as this base. Also note, running a screen recorder and Blender at the same time on my computer is a little glitchy, but hopefully I can get some more power. Here we go. So you're going to want to grab this key here with all 4 arrows. It's called move. And we're going to drag this guy down by the blue Z axis so we get him out of the way of the origin point, which is where all new objects spawn. So let's go ahead and spawn a cylinder. Excellent. Let's see if that is satisfactory. Let's see. To scroll up and down, you hold Shift and your middle mouse button. But let's get this up here where his head's at. Is that? Yes, I find that to be a most pleasing size for the first stud. Alright, let's get him back out of the way. Okay, so this is actually a very, very simple process. So I've got 2 ways I can go about this, and first I'll show you the absolute simplest. So we've got this object mode here. We're going to switch over to edit mode, and we're going to select the face of this cylinder, the top half. So this first thing here lets you select vertexes, the points between this. This lets you select edges, and then this one lets you select faces. So in Blender, the I button is the inset. You're going to want to move your cursor over here. It'll give you, you'll see why in just a second. Alright, so my inset, I'm going to hold down Control to set the height. Alright, so if I drag down, it's going to go up, and if I drag up, it's going to go down. So let's make it about that high on the stud. Okay, so I've got it to the center. Okay, just refamiliarize myself with that tool. So you're going to want to start with your mouse out here. Once you hit I, you're going to adjust the size that you want the center that's going to be raised there. Okay, once you've got it where you like it, go ahead and click Control. And now you're going to drag forward, we'll bring it down, backwards, we'll bring it up. So I'm going to raise it up that far. And then I'm going to repeat it and make this a little bit smaller, and I'm going to drag down this time. Okay, So that'll be our first stud that we have. Let's go ahead and grab this guy, go back to object mode, and drag him out of the way, and let us do a second type of cylinder. Alright, Shift A goes to your add mesh, select cylinder. Alright, now let's go back to edit mode. Alright, so we're going to extrude this top face by selecting it and hitting D and make it a little bit taller. Alright, now we're going to hit Ctrl B to bevel this edge. Hold on, let's... Okay, yeah, Control B, and we'll bevel it, and then if you roll your mouse button up and down, you can adjust how many different segments it puts it into, so you can have a rounded edge. And then once again, we're going to do that. Oh, hold on. Let us extrude first again. Control B. Excellent. So there's our second type of stud. It's actually fairly quick. Now the next thing you need to do in this is you need to go into Edit, Preferences, and in the search bar you're going to look for the 3D Print Toolbox. That is this Mesh 3D Print Toolbox. This is very important here because you have to make these objects manifold. And that means that they're completely surrounded. It looks like these guys already are, but I am suspicious of this guy. So let's go ahead and click on him. Because of how that is indented there, it makes me a little bit nervous about it. So let's go ahead and click this arrow that comes out right next to your axis indicator. Click on 3D Print, go to Cleanup, and make manifold. Excellent. It did not find any problems at all. It is manifold. And we'll check this guy as well just to be safe. Make manifold. Awesome. So let's grab this guy and find where we're going to put him on the head. Now that we've got him, these two studs built in, I am going to bring this guy back up. Oh, sorry. If you click on him, then you can drag him pretty much anywhere, but I want him to stay on the Z-axis. Okay, excellent. All right, so you may be asking why I've only created two studs. It's actually really simple, and I will demonstrate that shortly. Okay, let's get this guy back out of the way and work with this one first. All right, now I'm going to bring him over. You can see how it's intersecting with the head. And then I'm going to grab the rotate tool, which is the one right beneath the 4 arrows. You grab the axis. We're going to rotate this on the Z-axis and on the Y-axis. Excellent. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and move him over a bit. And I'm going to apply a mirror modifier, which will mirror it around the source. So this is our mirror. And let's mirror him around. What we got here? Okay. All right, and then let's drag this out again. Oh, hold on. And as I said, I've only been doing Blender for a week or so, so it is a process and a half. Okay. Hold on, we are going to avoid Control-Z back before we moved him. Alright. We are going to Control-D, or no, Shift-D to make another version of him. Rotate. Excellent. Now let's grab this guy, bring him back over. Brain. No, wrong axis. I want my green axis. Okay, so grabbing that green box here lets me move this. Put him right there. And let's Shift D to duplicate him. All right, let's rotate again and move. Excellent. All right. Now that's done, let's go back to object mode, zoom out, and take a look at our guy. Yeah, he's a little crazy. You can add as many as you want. You can play with that indent and bevel to get them how you like them. I think I want this one to be a little further in, so let's drop them down on the X, move them in on the Y. All right, there we go. All right, so next we're going to take all of these, shift click, and then hit Ctrl J to join them. Oh, hold on. Still got that mirror modifier on there. Let's clear that off. All right, Ctrl J. Excellent. Now we need to take this and we need to add a Boolean modifier, which will make it so that it clips off the parts that go into the brain, because those will throw your slicer off when you're going to print it. Excellent. So add modifier. We got this guy. We're going for a difference on the Boolean. So first you select this guy, then you select the object that he's clipping by as cylinder 2. This is going to take a second. Just going through and finding everywhere that it crosses. Excellent. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Let's go and apply that. So once you apply it, it will actually be a permanent thing. Okay, now I'm going to select them both and Shift J to join them. Now it is one object. Now because we've edited this, we need to check all of the issues in this 3D print toolbox. It's going to check for faces that do not match, or that are too sharp, or that are too thin. Too thin meaning they have no area, so the slicer has no idea what to do with them. Now, if I were going to be selling this to Hero Forge, if I was presenting this from Palladium's point of view to Hero Forge, I would design the studs based off of one of their Hero Forge STL heads, and then I would save them as their own object and put it in the hat section. And then when anybody applies that as it would notify them, using this Palladium mesh will add like 10 cents to your thing. But that way, even people who aren't fans of Palladium start getting exposure to some of the awesomeness that is Palladium. And Palladium gets some money every time they sell it, and by selling it through Hero Forge, they won't just be putting the stuff out there where people can share it without Palladium getting the proper dues. All right, how is this checking process going? It's literally checking the thousands of vertices and pixels that are in here. So it does take some time. And there we go. All right, so now that it has found all the issues, which thankfully have not been many, let's go ahead and make this manifold. All right, so I had some problems with making that manifold, so I stepped back a few steps before doing the merge. I hit make manifold on these little guys first to make sure that they're manifold. Then let's apply that Boolean again. So it's this wrench here, add modifier, Boolean, difference. Okay, it's thinking about what it's done for a little bit. All right, now let's check and make sure that that's doing this right, because we got to go inside the computer. Inside the model itself. All right. Okay. Okay, one last thing before I go. I am going to apply a smooth modifier to these head studs because they are not quite as smooth as the Goblin. So first I'm going to select just them. Oh dear.